Oh, I need to feel some energy. I said, how are we doing, CCXP? You guys are in for quite the treat tonight here at the Thunder Stage. For starters, though, my name is Liam Crowley. I come from Screen Rant. Any Screen Rant fans here in the audience? We are going to have an incredible panel for a production I had the pleasure of actually being on set for this past November, Varanasi. And tonight, just for this Mexico City crowd, we are bringing you some exclusive looks. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Varanasi or SS Rajamouli's work, this film is going to change the cinematic landscape forever. It's something you all want to be a part of, and I'm so glad you could join us here tonight. And to guide us on this journey, I want to call to the stage one of the great minds behind this highly anticipated project. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Mexico City welcome to the one, the only, the unparalleled SS Karthikeya.
Hola, buenos noches, Mexico.
Your Spanish is better than mine already. My Spanish needs some work. I need to practice this entire weekend. Well, Karthikeya, welcome to Mexico City. First off, how does it feel to be here? How was your trip?
Oh, I mean, coming to Mexico was always a dream, and always a fan of. We were always a fan of Mexican food. Heard a lot about the culture here. And being here for CCXP is a pleasure. And just walking through those halls is so overwhelming, so much. It's a dream. One day, we'd like to have something of Varanasi up there in the hall, like in a big stall. That would be the dream.
Yeah, we're seeing projects like Supergirl, The Boys, everything Marvel has coming out with Disney, and Varanasi is included in that ensemble. It is very special. You mentioned you were able to walk around CCXP a little bit?
Yes, I did today morning, and wow. I don't know what else to say. It was a beautiful experience.
It's truly, truly special to be here with this great crowd as well. So to start our conversation by recalling a little bit of the past, you're one of those responsible for unifying the Indian cinematic market, specifically Tollywood and Bollywood. So was Varanasi originally conceived to be a pan-Indian film right from the script, or is the soul of the story strictly regional?
India is a diverse country, has more than 29 languages, and there are about more than five or six film industries, and each film industry, we do the same work, but it's just differentiated by the language.
Use that momentum to create RRR. Any fans of RRR in the building? Oh, yeah. I knew there'd be a pop for that one. So now to speak specifically about the audience here, the Mexican and Latin American public has a very strong relationship with magical realism and ancestor worship. So do you believe Varanasi will be your strongest connection with these audiences?
Yeah, that's the hope. I mean, there are a lot of similarities that we've seen. Like, even the lot of comics or the stories or the films that are coming out from Mexico are drawn from their history, from the Aztec or the Mayan civilization, and so do we. In India, we really get inspired by our epics, which are like the Ramayana or the Mahabharata. I mean, in some films we might not directly show them the epics, but there is a lot of inspiration from those stories. But fortunately, in Varanasi, we have excerpt of Ramayana in the. We have a 20-minute to 20 to 25-minute of Ramayana in the thing. So I think even culturally, there is a lot of similarities between the Latin American audience and the Mexican audience, I feel. Going in the city of Mexico and meeting people, they're so welcoming, and I find the same kind of warmth in my city, in my country, and the food. Even the spice, I don't think I can get that spice anywhere else apart from India, and when I come to Mexico, so there, and also the family values that you kind of hear that the Mexicans hold. I mean, I think that also we are very similar in that way. And the family values is a very integral part, a significant part in the story of Varanasi. And I feel there are a pretty lot of factors that people will relate to and enjoy the film.
Yeah, I'm glad you did mention that because there are so many parallels between Mexico and India. The two most recent international countries I've been to, and like you mentioned, the hospitality, the willingness and the excitement to share culture, food, cinema itself, that is something that is directly in the DNA of Varanasi, and it's going to be very special when this thing reaches that global audience on April 7th, 2027. You mentioned Mr. Rajamouli's evolution as a filmmaker and what he was incorporating into his films over the course of his career. I'd love if you could speak about that a little bit, as you've had a front row seat to this evolution for so long.
See, he started off with a film called Student Number One. It's a very coming-of-age, college, soft story. People loved it, and then immediately he made this film with the same actor called Simhadri, which is an action blockbuster, which is with a lot of bloodshed and with hard-hitting emotion, right? And it was a money-spinning project, created records back then in 2003, if I'm not wrong, and everybody kind of expected another films like that with another big star, but no. He just went on and he picked up rugby. Rugby, even now in India, is not many people know about rugby, the sport. But he picked up rugby as his third film, and he made a film based on rugby, right? And then he went on to make a couple of other blockbusters, and then in 2012 was actually when he completely changed his game and made a film with a housefly, right? And that's called Iga. And I came across this very funny meme, and about Iga. Can we have that, please? I think many of them would know this.
We have a Iga meme prepared.
Yeah. I don't know how many of you guys feel the same about it, but I think if I was not part of the film, I would have felt the same, hearing the log line about one guy being killed and being reincarnated into a housefly. It sounds absurd, and that's what I was trying to say about how he surprises his audience always, and Iga kind of put him apart from every filmmaker in the country, saying this guy can do or come up with anything that we can never expect.
Yeah, the SSR binge before April 7th, 2027 is alive and well. There's a big Indian population out there that are big fans of these films, and I owe them a watch list of like 15 projects right now. I'm working on it. I'm getting to it. Slowly but surely, but over the course of this next year, we'll check them off.
Yeah, and then I think more than me speaking, visuals convey better than words. We have a nice of SSR's work for them to watch. So let's watch that.
Hace 25 años, un joven cineasta de Andhra Pradesh, India, comenzó su carrera. Con el paso del tiempo, ha establecido un estándar sin precedentes. Cada una de sus películas se ha convertido en un éxito rotundo. Desde su primer largometraje cumplió, y luego otra vez, y otra más. Nunca ha hecho una película que no conmueva al público. Nunca ha optado por lo seguro. Y jamás, nunca, ha subestimado a quienes lo ven. En 2012 con Iga, una simple mosca se convirtió en la heroína de una historia de venganza, demostrando que una gran historia no tiene límites. En 2015 con Bahubali, una épica en 2 partes que vendió más de 115 millones de entradas en India y superó los 375 millones de dólares a nivel mundial, no solo creó el mayor éxito de taquilla del país, unió a toda una nación, estado por estado, idioma por idioma. Un país entero contuvo el aliento ante el espectáculo en pantalla. Su visión volvió a confirmarse cuando RRR se convirtió en un fenómeno global. Audiencias de todo el mundo se enamoraron de su acción única y del vínculo inquebrantable entre 2 amigos. Inspirado por el espíritu de diarios de motocicleta y por cómo desconocidos pueden convertirse en leyendas al final de un viaje, se hizo una pregunta audaz. ¿Y si 2 luchadores por la libertad de la India se encontraran en otra parte del país, se descubrieran a sí mismos y regresaran para luchar por su nación? Eso es RRR. Una película que el mundo abrazó. Se convirtió en el título con más semanas consecutivas en tendencia en Netflix durante 14 semanas seguidas. Y una vez más su visión se confirmó cuando RRR también triunfó en Japón, permaneciendo en cartelera por más de un año. Steven Spielberg la llamó extraordinaria.
Beautiful visual style, and I just thought it was extraordinary to look at and to experience. So congratulations for RRR.
James Cameron quiso estar en el set.
And I'm going to hold you to. I'm going to come to your set.
Yes.
You can give me a camera. I like to operate. I can get some shots for you. Some second unit maybe.
Los hermanos Russo quedaron asombrados.
Well, I've seen RR. It's amazing. It's incredible. I mean, I think what's so amazing about it is the level of emotion.
La noche de los premios de la Academia, el mundo se unió para celebrar el ritmo contagioso de Natu Natu. Aún hoy, su energía sigue resonando. Y el hombre detrás de todo finalmente se convirtió en un nombre global, SS Rajamouli. Un estado lo vio nacer, India lo celebró, el mundo lo recuerda. Cada paso, un sueño más grande, cada película, una audiencia más amplia. Ahora regresa con otro impacto monumental, una aventura de acción que recorre el mundo, con raíces en India pero pensada para conquistar el planeta entero, y el mundo aún no la ha experimentado. La próxima parada en su viaje es aquí mismo, Ciudad de México, ustedes. Varanasi de SS Rajamouli, solo en cines, 7 de abril de 2027.
I mean, come on. Sensational. Sensational. That's the only way I can describe what you're able to see when you get SSR's entire catalog condensed into like 5 minutes there. And what's funny too, where I get chills, is seeing RRR on the big screen. Because I'm sure so many people here, my experience watching the film was at home via Netflix. That is how a lot of audiences were introduced to that project. And it was amazing, and it took my breath away. But man, the entire time, I was like, I would kill to be in a theater right now. I would kill to have that surround sound, that big cinematography on a 1:43 IMAX screen. And I'm so blessed to know that April 7th, 2027 is circled on the calendar, and we will get to experience an SSR film as one entire globe in real time. That's got to feel pretty special.
Yes, and in Spanish.
And like I mentioned at the start before I brought you out here, Kart, I was on set.
Yeah.
We shared the set together. I had the privilege of going to the Varanasi set. And when I say Varanasi set, it's twofold, because the film is called Varanasi, but that's also the titular city that we're working with here. And so you guys were able to completely reconstruct one of the holiest places in the world for, what, a 60-plus day shoot with a mixture of scenes that take place over the course of so many years and everything. And being on that set, feeling the energy that you were trying to create, it was magical. There's no other way to describe it. It was magical. It was also my first set visit. So this was the first time I ever got to peek behind the camera and see how everything was made, and to see the amount of care and precision and attention to detail. Like, I'm walking around this Varanasi set, and there are posters on buildings that I'm like, there's no way the text on that poster is going to be visible in the final cut. But there's that level of attention to detail because I know it's going to bring out the best in your performers. And that is something I tip my cap to. That's something that Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, the Russo brothers, and many other prolific directors all tip their cap to. The level of attention to detail and just the genuine care for creating a once-in-a-lifetime story.
It was beautiful what you said, but yeah, I mean the story begins and revolves and ends in Varanasi, the holy city of India. It's also called the spiritual capital of India, and it's one of the oldest cities that was built and is still inhabited, and obviously our director, Mr. SS Rajamouli, had a vision of some breathtaking sequences in the ghats of Varanasi, which obviously practically we couldn't have possibly executed there. So I mean, as producers, our responsibility is to make that happen, and we sent out our production design team to Varanasi to get all the possible dies, the measurements, the pictures, references, and all of that. And yes, to get his vision, to get his vision come true, we built the Varanasi ghats brick by brick to ensure his vision comes true.
This crowd's ready for April, I can tell. Next April. We're under 365 days away. I'm realizing right now, it is April. But don't worry, we're getting there, about 11 months away. Again, Mr. Rajamouli, he's still very hard at work on Varanasi. This is a very extensive production. It requires a lot of tender love and care. It is one of the longest filming processes I've ever seen, and for good reason, because what is being assembled here is truly unlike anything anyone will ever see at the theater. That being said, SSR still knows he's got a big fan base here in Latin America. And so, it wouldn't be Rajamouli, sir, without saying a little hello. So, please direct your attention back to the video screen for another surprise.
Hello, Mexico City and CCXP. I wish I could be there with you today, truly. But even from here, I can feel your energy. The Mayan civilization and its architecture always intrigued me. In fact, in my previous film, Bahubali, the city center and the throne were inspired by the famous Chichen Itza pyramid. But I must confess that my knowledge on the Mexican history, heritage, culture is very minimal. But now I hope this would help me learn more about you wonderful people. I have spent around 25 years making films, but nothing quite prepares you for the moment when you realize that your story has crossed oceans, that people thousands of miles away are laughing, crying, and dancing to something that you created. That is what RRR did for me. Not just my country, India, but the whole world showed me that an universal emotion is enough to reach every corner. And when I heard Natu Natu being sung and danced to across the world, I thought, yes, this is the exact reason why I make films. I am a filmmaker who believes that storytelling has no language barrier. Only emotion, only the human experience, which is the same whether you are born in India or Japan or Mexico or anywhere else on this earth. And that belief is the foundation of my next film, Varanasi. I dream big, I always have, and Varanasi is my most ambitious yet. And here is a glimpse into that dream. hope we have impressed you with what you have seen. It is a story rooted deep in India, but made for every person on this earth who has ever believed that one human being can change the course of history. Like you have seen, the story not only travels from India to Antarctica to Africa, but it also travels through time. I cannot wait for you all to experience the story unfold through these breathtaking worlds that we have conceived. The audience in this room today, you are exactly the kind of people I make films for. Passionate and curious. While many of you discovered RRR on screen at home, Varanasi is coming to theaters and IMAX near you, and it is made to be experienced on the biggest screen possible. See you on April 7th, 2027. Namaskaram.
You can literally
Yeah.
feel that glimpse, the sound, the visuals, and it's all out of context. And I've watched so many theory videos on YouTube because I'm trying to piece together this puzzle as best as we can. At the very end, it uses the hashtag Globetrotter, where this thing all began at the big title reveal last November in Hyderabad. It was Film City, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the Ramoji Film City in November 16th.
I traveled to India. This is a completely new cinematic culture for me. And as soon as I stepped foot in that outdoor, I can't even call it an arena, because arenas have roofs. This thing was an outdoor stadium with 50,000 people of the most passionate film fans I have ever seen gathered in the Indian heat, gathered for, it looked like miles down the road, all to get that first look, that first glimpse at Varanasi. They were the most patient crowd. They were the most lively crowd. They introduced me to the magic of the one and only worldwide superstar Mahesh Babu. Again, let's talk about that big title reveal. Way back, you said it was November 16th, 2025. You obviously knew what we were about to see, but did that fan response change your perception of just the reach that this film was going to have?
The fan perception actually, that's something that we expected, to be honest. But on that day, we had a few glitches. I don't know if you remember during the event, but the fans' patience was what really surprised us. And we were so it was so heartwarming to see them so patiently just waiting for us to get those things right, because we were also doing something new. We put up a 100 feet high LED screen. We built it from scratch, and so they were there, and we couldn't play our set before on the big screen, because that it was such a big screen, 30-meter high LED screen. It was seen across some kilometers. So, we were worried the video would be leaked before the event, so we couldn't do that. But the fans were so patient during our patient during our those glitches. I mean, that was more surprising to us and very heartwarming, like I said. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up too, because the patience aspect is really what floored me about the entire experience. Leading up to that first footage drop, it was a big old, swell of hype, not unlike we would have at a CCXP or a Comic-Con, where we're talking for a very long time, and at the very end, we reveal the footage. And it went on for about, a couple hours. And when we get to the big moment of revealing the footage, because they built this screen from scratch, a true 1:4:3 screen, because Rajamouli, this is his words, not mine, he calls himself an audacious filmmaker. And he says, he's got an audacious mind. If he wants it shown in 1:4:3 and they don't have a 1:4:3 screen, we will build it. That's what they did. And for that reason, though, it took quite some time to load. And I've been in theaters before where the audio cuts out for 5 seconds and people boo, or they throw popcorn or something like that. And I'm just like, can we just be a little bit more patient? In this instance, the trailer was delayed by about 20-ish minutes, I would say. Not a single comment. Everyone was patient. And then when the trailer finally played, what was the first thing people said? Play it again. Play it again.
Play it again, yeah.
And then also, Babu, Babu, Babu. And it really is, pun intended, just scratching the iceberg. We got a lot more to see when this thing hits theaters on April 7th, 2027.
So yeah, I mean, so we have a small glimpse into what went into the event that you were just talking about. If we can have that for all of them here, please.
Let it bang. తగలపెట్టేద్దామా?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is SS Rajamouli once again taking Indian cinema to the world, and definitely more audacious than ever before.
To make this movie something that you cannot even imagine.
మన ఇండియన్ సినిమాని గ్లోబల్ తీసుకెళ్లడంలో గ్లోబల్ ఆడియన్స్ని తిరిగి మన ఇండియాని చూసేలాగా ప్రయత్నిస్తున్నాము.
ఈ సినిమాకి mere words won't do justice to the scale and scope.
ఇది నా డ్రీమ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్. ఒక రకంగా చెప్పాలంటే వన్స్ ఇన్ అ లైఫ్ టైం ప్రాజెక్ట్. I'll make everyone proud. Most importantly, I'll make my director the most proud.
Did you guys see that sea of people? It's like Coachella, but for Varanasi. Like literally, that's the only other comparison I have. I'd love to educate a little bit more on the cast we have assembled here, because
Sure.
Mahesh Babu, for those who don't know, is one of, if not the biggest actor in Telugu cinema, Tollywood specifically. And it's fair to say SS Rajamouli is one of, if not the biggest filmmaker in Indian cinema as a whole. And this is the first time that these two are working together. And when I talked to SSR during our interview, which you can watch now on Screen Rant's YouTube, I asked him how long this had been in the works for. And it had been like a decade. It had been a long time of trying to get schedules to align, trying to figure out the right project for them to collaborate on. The homecoming of one of the biggest movie stars in Indian cinema history, as well as the union of one of the biggest Indian stars, but specifically action. Mahesh Babu has done so much great action films, along with India's biggest revolutionary filmmaker working today. You cannot put enough superlatives on this film. Kart, do you have any more to add?
No, not anymore. I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, this was a dream for both, for all of us to see this come alive. Like you said, I mean, Mr. Mahesh Babu and Mr. SSR, agreed to work on this. But like you said, they were waiting for the right plot line or the log line or the story that really brings them together, and it was Varanasi. And I think we're at the right time, at the right place, making a very deeply rooted Indian film for the world. And I think the right people are involved, and I really hope we make an impact.
And what's very special too, can we make some noise for that, everyone? What's very special too is here, I alluded to this campaign before the title was revealed was just #Globetrotter. We didn't know anything about it. But we did not abandon the mantra of Globetrotter once the title was revealed. SSR has been using Globetrotter to describe this film twofold, because the plot takes us all over the world, but also the meaning behind the camera is we want this to be a global experience, to bring people of all different backgrounds and all different genres that they flock to come to the theater for this project. And what I find really special, Karts, is that the Globetrotter tour, if you will, kind of starts here today, here in Mexico City. This is effectively the first stop, which I assume will be of many.
You can totally say that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's really cool to take that first step here in Mexico City. And the response based on the crowd we have here today, based on the noise you guys are making, and I know the noise people are making on social right now, it sounds like we picked a good spot to start, huh?
Yes, and I'm very, very fortunate to be here. And like you said, this is amazing crowd to start from here. And and yes, I think this is just the beginning. A long way to go. A lot of things to do and a lot of things to show and excite the audience.
We're counting down the days, everyone. April 7th, 2027. I'm going to get it tattooed at this point. I feel like I've said it so many times. But, Kart, again, thank you so much for taking the time to come here to Mexico City. Before we officially wrap, do you have any closing remarks here for the lovely fan base you've built for yourself here in Mexico City?
Yeah, thank you, each one of you who have been enjoying Mr. SS Rajamouli's films. And I know all of you are fans of him who are here, and that's why you're here. I hope this panel kind of entertained you, gave you, it was worth your while. And I promise you, Varanasi is going to keep up. All the expectations that you have will excite you, and you will go crazy in theaters April 7, 2027. Thank you all for making time and being here.
Thank you, everyone. Before I forget, we do have a CCXP tradition here on the Thunder stage.
Of course.
We got to sign the logo. So if you'll follow me here. I believe we have a pen here for you right behind. Here you are. And you're joining some prestigious company. I see Christopher Lloyd right there in big letters. There we are. Thank you, CCXP. Make some noise one more time for SS Karthikeya. And I know I'm going to see you all in theaters on April 7th, 2027.